you're that much better because there's no tension. Your body can flow. It's great to see Nunes on the mat.
Brazil and Mongolia. You don't get this matchup too often, but we find it in the bronze medal round.
Often in Brazil, we think of MMA or jiu-jitsu, and they have some wrestlers who are studly and just can get into those positions and attack hands and attack legs. And in that Pan Am games, we often see Brazilians towards the top.
Hey, you mentioned the mixed martial arts. Lais, her husband Hugo, competed as a mixed martial arts fighter, MMA circuit. So strong region of the world for the mixed martial arts.
We don't call it American wrestling, but they do call it Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
They do.
Don't call it Russian wrestling or Iranian wrestling. Little foot sweep attempt by ENKHBAT there. She pulls the head down and looks to hook an ankle, the crook of her foot.
I always wonder what goes into the decision-making for these countries at the last second, making changes, as we saw with Mongolia and ENKHBAT. They inserted her name in, I believe, right before the competition.
Yeah, and this time in our world, who knows if it's a illness or an injury or a fear that they've been exposed. Oh.
Well, that should be a slip, no points. That was a good try there by ENKHBAT to try to get the arm throw. She had set it up with those sweep attempts and kind of caught the Brazilian leaning a little bit, and that opened up an opportunity for the arm, and she had a near miss.
Right, and that's, you know Mongolia is going to come out and let the fur fly out here. Look for those attacks, chest to chest, arm throws, head throws.
And now the passivity call on Nunes. 30-second shot clock, so it starts up exactly halfway through period number 1. Front headlock position now by ENKHBAT. Still squeezing, still looking for the inside trip that time. Now she adjusts down to the waist section, drives her out of bounds for 2.
And she went to transition right to a gut wrench, which allowed her to get Nunes de Oliveira down to the mat. But Nunes coming out with a forehead right to the cheek of ENKHBAT. She's physical.
This is a big match if you're Nunes of Brazil. She is competing in the World Championships for the 7th time in her career, looking for her first World Championship medal. Her previous high was 5th place back in 2018, and now a flurry near the edge. Referee says 1. The judge and mat chairman agree. The judge in this case agrees, so another point added to the ENKHBAT column and a 3-0 advantage. And again, Nunes is an athlete who has had success, so to see that statistic about no medals at the World Championships, a little surprising for the 2-time Olympic qualifier.
And, you look at the folks who have been above her. She's been right on the cusp. At the Pan Am Games, she's been right on the cusp. She's won a couple of Pan Am Games, I believe.
You know who's been quiet this year? Speaking of the Pan Am region, Canada.
They really have.
Their women.
They have. They had 2 gals that went pretty far this morning. Sam Stewart wrestled really well. Gabby, give me a minute, I'm gonna look on my list, but they had another gal in their 2 of their 4 weights that competed at a pretty high level.
Did they send their full fleet?
They didn't. They had a girl at 50, Jade Marie Dufour, who they pulled at the last minute and had a new entry come in. Sam Stewart wrestled well. We're going to see Carla Godinez Gonzalez and Alex Town, and Weiker's coming back.
Good.
And so, yeah, we're going to see a pretty good Canadian group of women.
Second period about to begin. The referee making sure she has the proper positioning as she had to tug at both athletes, and here we go. So a solid 3 minutes of wrestling by ENKHBAT of Mongolia.
No fingers.
3-0 lead.
And NUNES did win the Pan Ams in 19. She was a Pan Am Games bronze in 19. So that year, in 2019, she was the top of the Pan American Championships.
Sharing the silver medal this year. I believe it was held in Guatemala City. So a lot of success for NUNES, but just having a tough time stepping on that offense. Down 3. And that deficit is going to get a little bit larger as the Mongolian is tough. 5-0 ENKHBAT, 2 more.
Similar to what we saw with Ozaki, she got to the 2-on-1. She pushed the hand up into NUNES' chest. And then when NUNES was coming back into her, she was able to catch her ankle with a little foot sweep and get 2.
Real impressed with this showing by ENKHBAT. Here comes NUNES, straight on power, double, feet to back for 4, and she is back in it.
And that 4 points makes a huge difference as we move in. If she gets a step out here and goes, 5-5, she does have criteria. They're going to say no fingers here in a second. You can't interlock fingers anymore.
It's a great change.
Oh, it is.
Or great emphasis, I should say, to really crack down on that. Nothing slows up a match more than that.
Playing a game of mercy like we used to do in elementary school. Here's NUNES back in deep, getting her posture up.
Back in this match after 4 minutes of a pretty quiet run in which ENKHBAT had really taken control. The 4-pointer has NUNES back in it, and her corner as well.
Right, and the Mongolian coach is telling ENKHBAT, get to your 2-on-1, slow her down, don't give her angles. Nice front headlock position by ENKHBAT. If she goes head into the hole position and is going to look to create an angle to go to that cradle position.
Trying to get to the cradle. NUNES effective in breaking that up, but in the meantime, 2 more for ENKHBAT as she was able to get that partial cradle hooked up, gave up on that, swung around to the side. That enabled her to get to the corner.
Right, and she was able to get her head into that whole position between the arm and the leg. And some coaches who I know really well, and I like to say it to my athletes, you want to make your opponent look at you by turning their head and making them look at you, because that keeps their head tight to their hip so that they can't look away.
Forehead to forehead, the 2 keep grinding away with 40 seconds to go. ENKHBAT, very impressive, looking for the bronze. NUNES has already showed the flair for the big throw. Can she come in again? She's leaning hard, driving near the edge. She went tumbling down, but stepping out of bounds was ENKHBAT. So NUNES gets 1, and again, all she needs is the takedown because she has the 4-pointer.
Back to those fingers. Let's see if they go caution in 1 here. They don't. That's the second warning on ENKHBAT for fingers.
Off the whistle, NUNES knows it's now or never. She's going to come with everything she has left in the gas tank reserve. 7-5 down, driving toward the edge, and out of bounds they go. 1 more, so she inches her way, step by step, literally, to within 1 with 12 to go.
Right, and in order to get this takedown, she's going to need 2 and 3 positions. She's going to need to shoot, counter, shoot again. Let's see if she can get this step out on the edge with short time.
She is close, wisely. ENKHBAT repositions back to the center, and that should do it for Mongolia. Gantuya ENKHBAT, good mat presence. She was certainly feeling the wrong side of the momentum, but she was able to heel up, bunker down, and circle back to